After working with dozens of clients and spending over 7 figures on Facebook ads, these are the top 5 Facebook ad mistakes that I've seen. Alright, so in no particular order, let's get into it with the first one here, which is not spending enough money or waiting for a long enough period of time. Now, as you've probably heard, Facebook's algorithm is one of the most advanced in the world. It takes in over 52,000 data points and, measures things up and figures out what can work best for you and your business. But of course, if you put garbage in to even the most advanced algorithm in the world, you're going to get garbage back out. And so to help ensure that you're putting good stuff into the algorithm, your goal is to get 50 or more objective events in a week. Now, what is an objective event? Well, it depends whatever you select for your campaign objectives. So this could be something like video views, clicks, conversions, so leads, purchases, etc. Those are objective events, and your goal is to get at least 50 of those a week, and of course, the more the merrier. Now, I know what you might be thinking, what if I can't get to 50 conversion events in a week? Like maybe you're going after purchases and it costs $20 in order for somebody to go buy something, and you don't have $1,000 a week to spend on ads at this point in time. So there's no way you're gonna hit that goal of 50 purchases in a week. So my recommendation is to go back a level. So maybe you're not getting 50 purchases a week, but maybe you're getting 50 adds to cart a week. And of course, adding to cart is the step right before somebody buys something. Somebody has to add the product to their cart before they make a purchase, right? So add to cart events could be what you optimize for. Now, maybe you're not getting 50 add to cart events a week, in which case you might need to take it another level back and go with view content. View content events usually fire on sales pages. So when somebody looks at a product or a sales page, then you optimize for that because, of course, that's the step prior to them adding it to the cart, which is the step prior to them purchasing said product. And finally, you could back all the way out to the click level. They have to click on the ad before they view the product, before they add it to the cart, before they purchase it. So in order to make sure that you're putting good data into the algorithm, you need to make sure you're getting those 50 conversion objectives in a week as close down to your ideal conversion objective as possible. And finally, you do need to wait at least 72 hours before you start messing with things inside of your ads manager. I've seen way too many people launch an ad, spend $10 and not have anybody opt in or something, and they're like, there's no way I'm going to spend $10 on a lead. And more than likely, you're not going to. The algorithm just hasn't had time to optimize yet, and you need to give it that time in order to go out there and figure out who is most likely to convert. Alright, so the second mistake that I see most often is too small of an audience. Now, in the good old days, you used to test a bunch of small audiences, basically one interest or behavior per ad set. And then you'd figure out which interest or behavior converts the best and you'd put more money behind it. But nowadays, the algorithm is so much more better, and the goal now is to just feed the algorithm. So while Facebook does give you a ton of targeting options like demographics, behaviors, interests, you can also do inclusions and exclusions and or statements as well. So you have a ton of options. My recommendation is to keep your audiences above 500,000 people, and 500,000 to 2 million is kind of the sweet spot. Now I get it, sometimes you have a smaller audience. Sometimes your product or your service, is kind of a niche product or service, in which case your audience size is the audience size that it is. Other times you might be targeting like a 7-mile radius around a location, and there's only so many people that live in that 7-mile radius. So if you have a smaller audience, I recommend leaving your interests and behaviors like wide open. Like don't narrow in too much. You need enough people to feed Facebook's algorithm so it can optimize for you and give you the results that you want. The third most common mistake I see is that the Facebook pixel isn't properly installed or configured on the website. Now, if you don't know already, a pixel is just a small snippet of code that goes on your website, and it basically allows Facebook to see how people interact with your website. Like what pages are they browsing, what are they opting in for, what are they buying, things like that. And of course, this all goes into the algorithm so it can optimize your advertising efforts. So of course, without it set up and optimized and tracking those conversion events, well, you're gonna have lackluster results. Again, garbage in equals garbage out. And also, the Facebook pixel is used to generate custom audiences, i.e. retargeting audiences, which brings me to mistake number 4, which is most people don't have a retargeting strategy. So the rule of 7 states that on average, people need 7 engagements with the business before they buy something. And retargeting is how you make this possible in the most cost-effective way. And so some of the people you might want to retarget, and retargeting just means you're putting ads in front of people that have already engaged with your business in some sort of way. So a couple audiences are engagements, so people that have engaged with you on Facebook, like watched a video, engaged with a post, looked at your page, something like that. People that have visited your websites, leads, buyers, etc. all those are great people, great audiences that you can put ads in front of again because they're already warmed up, know who you are, and then you can get up to those 7 engagements and try and convert them into a buyer or a repeat buyer. So right here is a basic retargeting strategy. The first thing you do is you set up a prospecting campaign, and this is where you put out interesting or entertaining material that kind of pulls people into your business. And simultaneously, you'll have a retargeting campaign that also shares interesting and entertaining material, but it also tries to sell your products and your services. So it keeps people in and also promotes offers that you have. And now the 5th most common Facebook ad mistake is having poor offers. So this might be kind of a mindset shift for you, but everything you produce sells something and people have to buy it. There's a cost to everything out there, whether it's time or money or attention. There's some cost to whatever it is that you put out there and you want people to engage with. So for example, with an ad, you're trying to sell a view, get somebody to view your ad, whether it's a video ad or they need to look at the image, they need to read the copy that you have, they need to engage with the ad, they need to click with the ad. You're trying to sell something with that ad. And of course, the cost to that for the individual, the buyer, is their time. They're spending their time consuming your ad. So you need to make it worth their time. And then of course there's a thing after the ad, which is usually a landing page of some sort. And on that page, it might be content, maybe it's a blog post, something interesting, but it needs to be good, something somebody wants to read. You might be offering a lead magnet, so they need to opt in, or maybe you're trying to sell a product or a service right there. In which case, it takes time and or money for somebody to convert on a landing page. So advertising on Facebook is not like the field of dreams at all. Just because you make it and put money behind it doesn't mean people are gonna show up. They don't have to show up just because you're spending money on it. It still needs to be something that people actually want. So just remember this, just because you're spending money on the advertisements doesn't mean somebody has to spend their time consuming it. It still has to be good stuff. And so those are the top 5 Facebook ad mistakes that I've seen. Now I'd like you to take a moment to comment below. Have you made any of these mistakes before, or are you making those mistakes now? And also, what's your biggest mistake that you've made? Leave a comment below, let me know. I want to hear your stories as well.